A new racing car is brought onto the circuit. With it comes the optimism of the designers, crew, and driver. The car, a British Racing Motors model, designed and built in BRM's Bourne plant, and co-sponsored in the 1970 Canadian-American Challenge Cup Series by Castrol Oils. The driver, George Eaton, Canadian. At 24, he's one of the youngest competitors on the Formula One Grand Prix and CanAm circuits.
Attention, CanAm competitors, you have 20 minutes of warm-up. 20 minutes of warm-up.
Warm-up laps prior to the race enable the engine to reach its operating temperature. Let the driver test the brakes and scrub in the tires. Adjustments to the suspension may take more than a season to sort out, and the driver must be sensitive to the responses of his car. The rapport between driver and mechanic is vitally important. He's the only means of communication between the moving vehicle and the mechanics.
Drivers meeting, 1 minute.
Oh, here it is.
We hope that up to date, most of you have had a reasonably good time, got things sorted out. Some of us have a lot of problems. There's a few points we'd like to bring to your attention about the race today. First of all, it is 198.75 miles long, the race, 75 laps. We intend to get you rolling off the front of the start-finish line.
Each circuit requires a different suspension tune-up, and final adjustments have to be made, even if it's a matter of minutes to race time. George Eaton's first race was in a Sunbeam Alpine in 1965, and became a full-time professional in 1969, placing him in competition with the world's top racing drivers.
Particularly for spectator safety. There for that reason. It should be around a little over 2 minutes, and then the car will be out. And no matter where you're watching the race, it would be better to stand behind the fence, please. Do not sit on the fence. The fences are there for your protection.
All CanAm drivers, please go to your cars if you're not already there.
George Eaton going by and looking just a bit sneaky going into McLaren corner, but he's in sixth position. is the ABS shadow, and he's come into the pits. He is leaking gas, is the word we have. Both our motion backers second, George Eaton third.
The night before qualifying trials for the next race. A good lap time tomorrow will make for an advantageous starting position on race day. Eaton's there to chat with mechanics for a while, deciding how the car will be set up specifically for this circuit. The final chance to test their calculations comes on practice day. What's going through the mind of a driver when he's behind the wheel?
In practice, it's definitely a feeling of speed and just sort of trying to extract all you can out of the automobile and sort of trying to get a good rhythm going. If you don't have good rhythm, then you become disjointed. You'll make two turns and miss two turns, and braking and acceleration will be good in one area and bad in another, and that's no good. Then you'll have slow times.
Yeah.
It's been high, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you think we can put another breather into them rocker covers?
Well, it looks as though that might be the problem.
Well, I'm usually less critical of the car during the race, and more critical of myself and my position in relation to the other people.
Water was over.
Was it?
Yeah. Thanks.
In a test program, you have to be reasonably critical of the car, or you're not going to develop it along the lines that it will require to be set up for any given racetrack. You're not going to sort the car out and get the maximum out of it, but during the race you can't stop and come in and have them change anything on it, so there's no point in really worrying about the car fast that's carrying you to the end. You have to pay some heed to it, but that's more to make it live, where you don't try to make it live in practice, but you do try to sort out the handling.
It seems it's dodging a lot on the straight. It seems that on the left-hand turns, the left-hand rear wheel really seems to be pushing it more. It's taking that tweak a little bit down there, in that one now, it seems.
It's taking it a little better?
No, it's the tweak's starting to show a little bit. I don't know whether that's just because I'm going a bit faster.
Could have soften the damper something. See what happens.
Yeah.
Get it in the top bar. Very good. You reckon that'd be very good.
Good, sir.
Experts from the racing industries are available to see how their products are functioning and to give advice.
And also, the center wire's cold, and the cement, there's a little extra cement laying around there, and it hasn't even changed color. It should, yeah, it should be, yeah, grayed. So you might check the timing.
Yep.
George won't be up late tonight. After traveling some 12,000 miles in the last week, he needs plenty of rest for tomorrow's race.
The travel is quite extensive when you run CanAm and Formula One, because that means that every week you fly across the ocean for the entire summer, and so that creates a bit of a time zone problem, and it gets to the point where you give up thinking of time in the normal concept, and you just learn to sleep when you're tired and stay awake when you're not, and I generally just gauge it that I'm awake and alert for the race.
This is the last chance for the mechanics to get the car set for the race. If they're lucky, they might get a couple of hours sleep tonight.
dog, I think. Really?
No,
Emily's really his dog?
I didn't used to like to be photographed, and I didn't used to like to see my picture, and I didn't used to like to be in the newspaper and all that. But now it's sort of just something that goes along. It no longer affects me negatively, let's say.
They don't give away any secrets, but drivers like to get together to discuss track conditions, their common problem before race time.
You know, I don't see it getting any better.
No.
Because the sweat did after the sports cars had been out,
Did
before
they?
the CanAm cars were out, yeah.
Well, what's making it then?
It's just a wee bit dirty all the way through. How's your wee board?
It's not bad. Got a few things to sort out, that's for sure. It's still dodging a bit, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting...
Well, this circuit's very bumpy anyway.
Yeah.
You know, it's undulating. Can't help much having Roger working the car either.
Nah.
He'll be all right.
George's manager understands well the competitive spirit of a racing driver.
The racing requires a tremendous intensity and a very high competitive spirit, not just the average sportsman spirit, but that extra special competitive factor that makes any professional athlete. George has this quality, and he's very highly honed mind, very sharp mind, very alert, and his same depth of interest and intensity of interest in what he's doing applies to his overall personality and other ventures that he participates in.
Something in the suspension as well as on the brakes. The brakes went fuzzy and then it started cutting to the side.
It was a small thing that broke, 10-cent bolt. That was it. It was over.
It's just one of those things. You know, it could have finished third, fourth, you know. With a bit of luck, you win a race, then you think, Christ, the last 9 failures were all worth it. And so, just look forward to Edmonton now.